Hello friends, Teacher Allison here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think you're really going to enjoy today's program, especially if you are a self-employed online ESL teacher or are considering becoming one. We've got some great curriculum to share with you today. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to chat with Katie Prescott. Katie is the director of Abridge Academy. Among a myriad of other things, Katie is the creator, designer, and developer of their online ESL curriculum. Today you'll hear us discuss the structure and design of the curriculum, its alignment with international standards, its benefits to teachers not only in the ease of use in planning and teaching, but also in its professionalism and marketability to parents. You'll also find out which platforms work well with the curriculum. And when it comes to price, Katie very graciously offered us a promo code for a free month of the curriculum. Thank you, Katie. All right, let's meet Katie. Katie, I am so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me today. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell me who you represent, what you guys do? You know, just give me some background information.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much for inviting me to join you.
Absolutely.
So my name's Katie. I'm the director of Abridge Academy, which is like a company that offers quite a large range of things. But one of the things we do is like curriculum for independent teachers. Before that, I worked as a teacher in the UK, and I've been teaching online for like 8 years or so now, with various companies and independently. So yeah, quite a mixture of stuff. In the past year and a half, another program my company worked on was an online ESL. We did a partnership with a Chinese company, so an online ESL teaching program. So I have experience as the kind of education director of that, making the curriculum and kind of managing a lot of that program as well. So yeah, I don't know, that's a bit of random stuff, but.
No, but you've got a very broad background, which really helps when you're trying to create something or help teach teachers. That really helps a lot because you've got a lot of experiential knowledge then.
Yeah, I guess it kind of helps as well, having had the experience of working with a Chinese ESL platform and knowing what the students want and what kind of parents are looking for and how to design lessons that work for Chinese students as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your company is called Abridge Academy, right?
Yeah, Abridge Academy.
Abridge Academy. Okay, excuse me. Are you completely online? Do you have a brick and mortar place that you're working, or tell us about your company?
It's all online. So it's an online company. I first started working at Abridge Academy, what year are we now? 2021, like 4 years or so ago.
Wow.
And actually, originally, our first programs were educational, like teaching and language exchange programs in China. So it was like teaching, volunteering on a summer camp program, learning the language, discovering the Chinese culture, that kind of thing. So we started off doing actually in-person programs in China for teachers. And then obviously with the pandemic, took everything online. So when we launched this online tutoring program, and then obviously the resources and things now. So it kind of a little bit weird. Went from in-person programs to being fully online.
You guys really have your hands out in a lot of different areas. So you're not just like this tiny little one-person company working in your bedroom or working out of your bedroom, so to speak. And but you're doing a lot of things. You're working out of your big living room and doing a lot of things then. Wow. And you have a staff as well that works on your curriculum. Is that right?
So actually the curriculum itself is mostly my own work, We had, because it was developed, some of the stuff in the curriculum was part of our online ESL tutoring from before. And that was myself, and also we had various external curriculum developers involved in making some of the resources and stuff too. Obviously different areas of expertise and stuff. But most of the stuff that's going up at the moment is stuff that I've been developing.
Wow. You are a busy, busy woman.
Quite a good description of my life.
And very talented too. I'm very impressed with your curriculum. So why don't you delve into that a little bit and tell us about your curriculum?
Yeah, I taught with Powerfish before, and they have this very interactive kind of system. They still do actually. I think they still exist somehow. So it's all, their slides are all built in, super interactive, engaging, and kids can click and move things. And that's kind of what I wanted to have with this curriculum. I wanted to replicate that because And I can see that kids really love to engage with it. Even you get, those younger kids who really don't want to be there. But once the lesson has started and they can see they can have a play with it. And
right, exactly.
It kind of grabs their attention a lot better.
Yes. And I think that's the key word that you said, they start playing with it. So instead of being a classroom, it starts feeling like you're playing a game. I think that makes a big difference in how, like you said, the kids approach it and how they see it. I actually spent some time playing with that and I enjoyed it. I think that, if the teacher is having a good time with it, then definitely the students, I think, regardless of whether they are, a 4-year-old coming into the program or you've got somebody who's 10 or 12, having that kind of engagement when you can't be right there with the student is really important. It's always important to have as many options as possible when you're teaching online to engage the kids.
That's great to hear. And yeah, so even my older students I've got that I've been teaching, some kids are like 14, 15,
wow.
And they still like being able to click and move things and kind of play with the resources. Kids of all levels actually find it quite useful.
That's wonderful. Well, so while we're talking about levels, give us an idea of what the levels are like. And if you want to compare them, I know we talked previously, a lot of people work for VIP Kid, and I know you've done PalFish. So what would be something comparative for the teachers who have worked for some of these Chinese companies?
Yeah, so at the moment, we follow the CEFR levels, which is the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Basically, it's a standard framework that sort of, if you look up online, they have loads and loads of resources, loads of information about each of the levels and what's involved. There are lots of tests and things you can do to check your level. So it's kind of why we picked that. It's a kind of international standard. It's used for mostly within Europe for like European languages, although people have compared it to, say, Chinese and other languages as well. I would say, so at the moment, the core course is focusing on level A1, which is like elementary level. I would say from my experience on PalFish, this is around PalFish levels like 1 up to 3 or 4. I think with VIP Kid, it's probably around level 1 to level 2 to 3 at the moment for the core curriculum. And then on top of that, we've got the expansion courses, which are kind of dotted around slightly random levels. So we've got all the way up to level B2 with some of the expansion courses.
Wow. Okay.
These are like shorter courses. It's not like a comprehensive curriculum at those levels at the moment.
And so one of the things you just mentioned as well was that you got the expansion courses, you got the core courses. Well, maybe we talked about this before, was that you are constantly expanding your curriculum. So you're not going to stop there, right? At your lowest level there. So what's your intention?
We're adding new stuff literally every day. New lesson goes up on average once per day. Sometimes more, sometimes less if I'm having a day off. A week at the moment, we're averaging about 10 new lessons per week.
Wow, that's really impressive. I mean, especially as you are the main person creating all of this, that's very impressive. Yay.
And at least we're listening then to teachers' feedback and suggestions as well to kind of grow and build it.
Oh, that's great. That's really great.
Kind of useful to have.
So are most of your teachers teaching British English, or do you have some American tutors or other tutors in other countries around the world?
Yeah, I was actually looking at the stats the other day. 40% of the people accessing our resources are in the US. And only 10% are in the UK. So mostly it's US teachers is the largest percentage. And we have the resources available both in British and in American English. They were first made in British English because I know British English better. So they were built in British English and then translated as such into American English. So when you look on the lesson pages, you'll see 2 sets of slides, one with a British flag, one with an American flag.
That is fantastic. I did not realize that you had the American English on there. When you're starting this out, it's helpful to have whatever resource, whether it's British English or American English. I was going to say English, but that's not correct. When I'm talking to you, that's not correct. You're the English. But I think that having obviously the American English, because as you've learned, there's a lot of differences between the two, aren't there?
Yeah, it was quite interesting because at first we started off just with British English because I was like, oh, I'm British, I'll make them in British English. Everyone loves British English. But then obviously got some feedback from teachers saying, do you have an American English version of this? Because, we don't say words like football in the US. So yeah, it's been quite interesting. I've learned a lot as well about some of the differences between the two, not languages, but the 2 dialects, I guess you could say. It's been quite interesting to learn about. I think also it's good for teachers to have an appreciation of different ones and for students, particularly slightly more advanced students, to learn the different versions of English from around the world, because yeah, depending on where you happen to go, you'll come across different English.
This is true. Or if you've had a student who has had a British teacher and they're saying, no, Miss Allison, that's not correct. I learned that it's da 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 da. You know, to have some understanding that in the UK that is correct, even though I've never ever heard it before. You know, that's a really important piece too. It's an interesting thing to kind of broaden your knowledge there, so that when you are speaking to the student, you can say, absolutely. Or you can go, nobody except for your teacher knows that word. You know?
Yeah. An interesting discussion, actually, I was just messaging on the website. There's a comments bit under all the resources where people can add questions and things. And one of the Christmas resources, we're doing some Christmas themed resources recently, and we had one that's on dressing a snowman, and you put like gloves on the snowman. And in the UK, we call these gloves. Apparently, in the US, the ones that don't have fingers are called mittens.
Yes,
we do sometimes say that in the UK, but it's kind of not that common. I feel it's something your grandparents would say, but like I'd say,
really?
I would say wear my gloves.
That's all gloves. Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, turns out that's another difference I hadn't even realized was a difference.
That's so interesting. I think the one that I encountered the most frequently was eraser.
Because,
yeah.
Rubber.
Yeah.
You can say that in the US.
No, we don't use that in the US. And so when you're teaching kids and they say that, you're like, okay, if you go to Britain, that's okay. If you go to the US, we're going to use a different term. Yeah.
Like pants and trousers. In the UK, you're walking around and someone sees your pants, so there's something seriously wrong with the way you're dressed. Yeah, that's quite amusing.
I love that. I love that. That's so much fun, though. I love that. I could listen to those comparisons all day long. I think that's really, really interesting. If you were sitting here and you were doing a sales pitch, or you were doing some marketing and you're talking to teachers from anywhere in the United States, tell me what the things are about your curriculum that you feel make it really, really worthwhile.
Oh, good question. So I'd say something that's quite unique about the Abridge Academy curriculum are kind of two key things. Firstly, is the structure, and secondly, all the games and the activities, like the interactive stuff. So I think compared to, you can find lots of resources and things online, but what's quite helpful when you're teaching, particularly if you're like the main teacher of English for that student, is having a proper structure to follow. Beginners in particular really need to start from the basics and build up. If you're not following the structured curriculum, you risk kind of introducing misconceptions or skipping out some important points. So I think that's one thing, is it's built in a very logical order from the beginning. And the other thing is the interactive side. So we've got all the games, all the activities, students be able to drag and move things, click on stuff. Lots of fun stuff is built in, like rewards as well. Like if you move something to the right place and get the answer right, it pops up with a little trophy, which is quite fun. It's kind of a little mini built-in rewards thing too.
And that's a nice thing too, because as many of us know, when you're trying to do a reward and your games and this, you know, and you're doing them all virtually, you know, like we were talking about earlier, it kind of depends on how old your computer is, if you're capable, you know, what your capabilities are. So I know.
Complete no-go on my computer. I have a whiteboard and I say, yes, you got to start.
Yes, I totally understand that. So that is a really valuable piece. And I think too, like you were saying, even for those of us who are in the US or in another country, having that certification. Tell me again what your certification is, or what you are aligned with. Tell me again that organization.
So it's the curriculum levels.
Yes.
Yeah, they're aligned with the Common European Framework of Reference on Languages, CEFR. So if you Google like CEFR levels, they come up. There's like level A1, A2, B1, B2, C1.
Perfect. And that's a great resource for the teachers too, because then they have an idea if they decide to go with your curriculum, what are we looking at A1, you know, and that sort of thing. That's great. And then I think you mentioned testing available on that website, or do you guys have level testing for the students also?
We don't at the moment. This is something someone suggested to me recently, and actually I'm kind of working in the background of coming up with a way of doing a sort of test that students would be able to do. But at the moment, I would recommend, if you've got students, you want to know what level they're at, particularly if you've not taught them before, if you just Google CEFR English test or something, there are lots and lots of websites that already have like a quiz that tests your English level and aligns with those levels. That's also useful, like if you're using the Abridge Academy resources and other resources, or you're doing your own stuff as well, because then you can actually use the CEFR levels as a basis.
That. So within your resources, I know that you have the curriculum. I see that you have some TEFL courses available. Is that correct? Yes. So you're a place that you can get certified for those. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. This is actually before we launched the curriculum. So yeah, we have the TEFL courses, and then more recently we've launched the curriculum.
I was talking earlier about how would you market this, but this is a wonderful tool for the teachers to market it to the parents. So you obviously, I know there are a lot of places where you can get your TEFL certification, but this is a great option, but also to say, hey, this is our curriculum. It's all in order. It's very professional, but it's also following, a standardized order, standardized information. So even to know those things about your curriculum and your website, this is something a teacher could use as a marketing tool to a parent, to make their business even more professional.
Interesting discussion I had with Key, who was one of the co-founders of that online ESL startup program we launched the other year. We've got another thing we're launching soon, is our Teaching the Chinese Market online course. And as part of that, I interviewed Key, kind of asking about what Chinese parents are looking for. And one of the things that came up from that interview was essentially, I'm kind of paraphrasing here because I can't remember exact phrasing, but essentially she was saying parents really want a curriculum because they're used to that with all the other companies like VIP Kid, Powerfish, whatever. And also they almost feel, like she felt, that parents feel a curriculum can make up for maybe a lack of experience or other qualifications that some teachers may have, because parents can see that you've got that structure there, and because it takes a lot of, I think, training, a lot of experience to be able to develop a curriculum from scratch.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah, what she was kind of saying, again, I'm not sure I'm phrasing in the same way she did, but was that a curriculum is really quite key part of your marketing tools. If a parent is looking at different teachers and they see, okay, there's this teacher, she's got a TEFL, she's got 2 years experience, she taught with VIP Kid, there's this teacher, oh, they look the same. How do they compare? Well, this one's got a curriculum. That's something
wonderful.
That really helps people stand out.
So, kind of sum up what you were saying. Let me just make sure I'm following. You're saying that you've got 2 teachers that have the same experiential level. The one with the standardized curriculum or the professional curriculum is probably going to win out. And if you've got a less experienced teacher, if they have that standardized curriculum, that actually gives them an edge as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what Key was saying. She was saying that the one thing we found with this, and I would say the same, like I was part of the same online tutoring program, like everything came up repeatedly in our management meetings, and she again repeated it in this interview, was that the only thing parents are wanting seemed to be curriculum, a structure. No, what's unique as well about China is quite often the teaching you're doing online is their main English learning input. Whereas if you're, say, tutoring someone who's, for example, someone like France or Spain or somewhere in Europe, often they're learning English to quite a higher extent maybe already in school. So they might only want a class or so a week, and it's helping them with their school learning. The school is providing the curriculum structure.
Yes.
Whereas the impression we got more from the Chinese end is that quite often they want their kids to be kind of ahead of where they're going in school, because the school curriculum is kind of quite rigid, but focused on exams and not necessarily about using language.
Right.
So you become the main structure. You need to provide the main structure for their English learning. And that's where the curriculum, I think, becomes particularly important as a Chinese.
One of the things that I also love about your curriculum is the price. I think it's very, very reasonable. You look in comparison, because curriculums can be crazy expensive. Yeah. So tell us what you get and how much it costs.
Yeah, there are 2 curriculum payment options. There's either the core curriculum only, or there's what we call the ultimate curriculum package. And there's only £1 difference between them. So I'd recommend go for the higher package because you get a lot more for it. It's a monthly fee, so you pay once per month, and it's all done automatically through either Stripe or through PayPal, depending on which payment option you picked. You can cancel at any time as well, and I'd like to emphasize that. Sometimes people kind of message worrying that they want to try it out for a month. They don't want to feel tied into a subscription. You can just cancel it within your dashboard on the website. It's quite easy to do. You can also upgrade and downgrade there too. But yeah, there's 2 curriculum options. You can either go for just the core curriculum. That's our step-by-step standardized curriculum, along with the phonics stuff as well as thrown in. Or you can go for the ultimate curriculum package, which is $6.99, so £7. It's about $9, $10 maybe.
Yes.
And
$9.26 is what I found.
Courses too.
Yes. Okay.
We might be able to organise like a discount code thing, where people get like 50% off the first month or something. I have the ability to do that, I think, on the system. I haven't tested it though.
Okay. And then you have in the works as well kind of a teacher marketplace or an online directory. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're actually working on a few things that are launching soon. So keep your eye out for these. The first is just like a teacher directory. So everyone who's registered for the ultimate curriculum package can opt to be listed on this directory, which means students who are looking for tutors using this curriculum can find you on the directory listings. So that's one thing. And then alongside that, another one we want to launch soon, possibly slightly later than soon because the tech is a little complicated, is a marketplace for teachers to sell resources. So if you've got your own curriculum resources that you would like to sell, you can sell them on the platform as well.
Wow.
And that's quite useful, I think, if you've got like niche courses and things that we're not able to offer. It'd be really great then to have one place where people can go and find all of these resources.
That's such a great idea. I really like that. I love the directory. And I think you had mentioned that you could have quite a few contacts in China. I mean, what you had talked about that a little bit. So tell us why the directory would be something positive for a teacher to use.
Yeah, so the idea of directory is that if a parent is looking for a tutor, they specifically want to use the Abridge Academy curriculum, they can have a look on the directory and they can see all the teachers and what they're offering. And it's not like you don't have to pay us specifically to be on the directory. We're not going to take a percentage of fees with nothing to do with payments. The idea is that it's simply a place where you can find the information about the teacher. Then it's up to the parent to contact you directly through like your WeChat details, or if you've got a website, you can put a website link. So I know some systems, they take a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do anything like that. It's literally just passing them on to you. And yeah, so for my own kind of network within China and also the online ESL startup I was involved in, quite a large number of contacts and potential students and things who might be interested in classes. So I can't necessarily put out specific numbers right now because it very much depends on how things go with the market in the next few months, really.
Of course.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential, I think, for bringing in students through this marketplace.
Yeah, I really like that because I think, again, one of the more difficult things can be marketing yourself. And so to have a place that's helping you market yourself is really a wonderful tool. And the other thing I like about it is you just got this flat pricing.
Keep it simple. I feel like it's a simple pricing and that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to make it too complicated.
And again, I just think that what you're getting for the price is quite a lot. And once the teachers get online and take a look at what you offer, see some of the interactives and that sort of thing, I think they're going to see it really is a great value. Yeah.
It's really good to hear. If anyone wants to check it out, you can just have a look on the website. There are some that are available for free. You don't have to log in or anything. You can just have a look at like the open access resources and just have a play.
So I did want to ask, as far as platforms go, I mean, is this Zoom friendly? Do we have to have a specific platform? What do you need so that the kids can use this?
Yeah, so it's done by screen sharing. So it's compatible with any platform that allows screen sharing in the sense that you can screen share and they can see the resources. For them to be able to interact with resources, you need to have a platform that allows two-way interaction because you need to basically allow the student to use your mouse to click on the things on the screen.
Okay.
Currently, this is only possible. The ones I've tested, it works. Zoom, Koala, which I highly recommend. I love Koala, it's amazing. And also ClassIn, but only on specific ones. Like ClassIn, you have to use the multi-way screen sharing option. They have about 3 different screen sharing ones, make sure you click on the right option. And Zoom, you have to use as a remote control button on when you're screen sharing. It gives you the option to remote control. On all of these, they currently only offer this if both you and your student are on a computer. This is a major limitation, and I know it's kind of annoying. I can't do a lot about it because it's down to the teaching platform. But yeah, at the moment, the resources work best if you and your student are on computers.
Okay.
If they're not on a computer, it still works fine. It's just that you move the stuff for them. So like you have to phrase things a little differently. Instead of match the word to the definition and get the student to do it, you say, what's the definition for this word? And then you move the word for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that around half of my students don't have computers, or they can't be can't be trusted with moving. So yeah, like they just tell me what to do. Basically, they say, oh, they want this one, and the resources are designed such that it doesn't feel to the student that they're missing out if you're the one who's moving stuff on the screen for them.
Oh, good. That's good.
Most of them don't seem to even notice they're missing anything.
That's good.
But yeah.
That's good. I noticed when I was tutoring a student that had Chromebook that we were using Zoom, that they had that same problem, even though it's considered a computer, but because it kind of looks like when that was another one that didn't work for them.
It doesn't work for Zoom. I think you can use Koala on Chromebooks though.
Oh, I think you're right. I think, Koala. And I'm really hopeful that we'll have a Koala interview here pretty soon, because I agree with you. That platform is a lot of fun. Yeah, that would be a great one.
Incredible. I hope they come up with an iPad version soon. There were talking about it.
Oh, good. Then that gives you a lot of freedom as well. I mean, that kind of expands things for you then too. Is that right?
Because I think the moment the Koala launches an iPad-friendly version, then I'll just everyone just go to Koala because it's such a great platform.
It is a wonderful platform. Mention that. I know you have Outschool on your website. What an advantage it would be to have this curriculum to teach on Outschool.
For commercial use, you're allowed to use it on Outschool. You can advertise that you use it. You can choose not to advertise that you use it and just use it anyway.
That is a game changer. Right there.
A lot of other curriculum, like when I was teaching on Outschool, one thing I found, you couldn't use most curriculum that are made by big companies because they say educational use only.
Yes.
Don't allow use on Outschool. And I know Outschool's really on top of copyright and being allowed to use the resources that you're using. One thing I definitely make sure with our curriculum is that it comes with a commercial license. You can use it for whatever you want to.
That's important. Like I said, that is a game-changing piece. For your Chinese students, I believe they can use Outschool. I mean, I believe they have access to it. Yeah, that's one of those things right now. Everything's kind of questionable about what they have access to.
Yeah, they can. I think they can access Outschool at the moment, but it's one of those things that you can kind of risk that in the future the Chinese government might block the Outschool website.
Okay.
At the moment, at least they could. Few months back, last time I taught a class on Outschool, I did have Chinese kids there who were within mainland China, and I don't think they were using a VPN. They never mentioned it anyway.
Okay, that's an interesting piece. I'm really glad we made it back around. Your curriculum, like I said, it's so professional, and I was impressed with it, and then to talk to you and go, wow, you are like a one woman show here. It's just very, very impressive.
Yeah, I like to keep busy. So yeah, I'm so pleased to hear that you find the resources good, because I think it's just something that I put a lot of time into. Things like the graphics and the images and stuff is what I think kind of helps make it feel so professional, but that's what takes so long to.
I'm sure.
So I'm glad it kind of has an impact on the resources. Good to hear. Thanks.
I want anybody who sees this, gets to watch this video. I just really hope that they'll visit your page, and I will definitely be putting, links down below, all the information down below. And another thing I wanted to mention was that you are really quick to respond too. So under your contact information, it goes to you. You're quick to respond, and obviously you have a lot of teachers sending you suggestions and questions and that sort of thing. And you listen to the teachers so that you can have the best product too.
Yeah, and I'd really like to hear feedback from people too. Like if anyone's got anything, I know my inbox gets a bit overwhelmed, but I try and reply always within a day. But so please, if anyone's got any feedback or suggestions,
wonderful,
doesn't work, please let me know. So yeah, people can email me. We also have a Facebook group. If you just search Abridge Academy on Facebook, it probably
wonderful.
So that's quite useful as well if people have got suggestions on things. And if anyone's bought the curriculum, you then get access to the lessons and you can write comments under the lessons.
Oh, wonderful.
Something doesn't work, or there's a American term I didn't realize about, people can send a message on the curriculum lessons as well.
And I'm so appreciative of your time today, because you're obviously a very, very busy woman. So thank you so much for carving this little bit of time out for us. And is there anything you want to add before we sign off?
I'd just say thank you so much for you too for finding the time and inviting me to do this interview. It's been great chatting to you.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad to hear you like the resources. Everyone, please do feel free to check them out. And yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Katie. Thank you again. Wow, that was a lot of information in 30 minutes. I hope you'll take advantage of that discount code and try out Abridge Academy curriculum for a free month. We still have a lot of great content coming your way in the upcoming weeks. If you've enjoyed it so far, please take the time just to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for taking this part of your day to share with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.